Hello, my name is Tenzin. For the past few years, I have been joining protests and presenting speeches at these protests. I stand here today because the Chinese Premier, Li Qiang, arrived at Parliament. Li Qiang has arrived here in Australia and is discussing topics with the Australian government about the trade relationship between China and Australia, human rights situation in China, military movement of the PLA with interactions with Australia, and regional and global security. First and foremost, I want to thank the Australian government for talking about human rights, but urge them to apply more pressure on the CCP about the rights of ethnic minorities, not just the Tibetans, the Taiwanese people, the Mongolian people, the Hong Kong people, and other ethnic minorities suffering under the CCP's rule. I encourage the Albanese government to adopt and implement policies like the recent US Resolve Tibet Act, which has protected Tibetan language, culture, and religion, and the well-being of Tibetan people. Australia should not only adopt these policies for Tibetans, but should adopt these policies for all ethnic minorities. Now, the Australian government is talking to the CCP. There's a few things I want to say. The first thing is that the CCP does not hold policies and will do anything for politics. We can see examples of this. In 1950, Tibet invasion, where the 17-point agreement was violated again and again by the Chinese Communist Party. Second is to remind everyone that China only wants profit for its country and doesn't care what rule it has to break. We can see this with the multiple water dams constructed along the rivers of Tibet, which has had massive geological and environmental impacts on countries around it, such as India, China, and various Southeast Asian countries. This means these dams have become geological weapons. The China-Australian relationship has affected people in Australia and will affect people in Australia. Australia is dependent on China, more than China is dependent on it. Australia needs to start distancing itself from China and become more independent, or will face a possible altercation. China's heinous acts have laid down unnoticed for years. Recently, we've seen things such as the Hong Kong invasion or the Taiwan advancements. But these acts have not been recognized or even tried to stop. These acts have violated human rights or committing international crime. The UN's job is to keep peace and unity in this world. Then why doesn't the UN do anything? Is the UN and all the governments in the UN just gonna stop and let this happen because they want to problem? Because if it is, this world is already beyond repair. As many victims of the Chinese Communist wrath, we can all confirm that the Chinese Communist Party cannot be trusted and should never be trusted. Our Tibetans are a great example of this. They tricked us into taking growth for weaponry. They forced us to sign a 17-point agreement in 1949. 10 years later, completely disregarded and took over everything. If that doesn't tell you that the CCP shouldn't be trusted, then ask any of the Tibetans here. Most of them that have escaped Tibet have experienced unimaginable things. The Chinese people over there, they are playing music to try to drown our voices. Will we let that happen? No. We are here because the voices in Tibet, the voices in other ethnic minority countries cannot be said. And we are here to raise those voices. We must exercise caution with China, with the CCP, so that no country will ever become like Tibet has, and never will. Hey, hello! Hey, hello! Hey, hello! Hey, hello! Hey, hello! Hey, hello! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Mongolia! Free Mongolia! Free Turkestan! Free Turkestan! Free Uyghurs! Free Uyghurs! Thank you.